Welcome to Rugby Tonight, the best bits. It was an Italian night in the studio for our 5th Six Nations special, with former Italy captain Fabio Ongaro joining us for some pizza and analysis. Ugo Monye and Austin Healey were also in hand for a roundup of the action from the Six Nations and, of course, round 14 of the Aviva Premeirship. There's nothing in it. This is your record, your rugby playing record. Fabio, it's seriously impressive. You've been around a while, I know that, but you're looking good for it. 2000, your first cap. But I think of you in, what was the year you beat Scotland? 2004. Yeah. And you scored the try. What was your memory of that?
Wasn't properly try, well, the ref at that time, because everyone's laughing about it, because I scored with the head, the try. If you can see
scored with your head?
Yeah, because I didn't push the ball on the floor with the hands. I touched with the head, but it was the first time there was the TMO, but the ref didn't ask the TMO because if he asked at that time, it wasn't try, but we won the game.
How did you end up coming to Saracens?
So I've been approached by Eddie Jones. Was like no head coach. He was like working head advisor, and he signed myself there in 2006.
And what was Eddie like to work with back then?
He's intense. He's
in what way?
Good coach. He's intense. He pretends the maximum from everyone, staff, players. If you are on board with him, you have to give 120% of yourself.
I'm not being downbeat on this Six Nations, but we've come just after a World Cup. A lot of teams are going through transition. England, a new coach. The standard isn't quite there, is it?
I'm not sure it's a standard or whether it's just sides are a little bit risk adverse. You look at the last game of the Six Nations, the last weekend, last season, and it was absolutely sensational. Everybody talks about it, how entertaining it was, and it's very rare you get the opportunity or you want to watch 3 games back to back. But last year, everybody wanted to watch all those games on a Saturday. And I think there's just a mindset with a lot of the sides that they're going into it relatively slowly and they're starting to build. But I don't understand that mentality. And I think it's indicative, actually, of the Northern Hemisphere game, that our game is governed by start-stop. We go to the next set piece, we go to the next play. Right? It's got a certain lack of fluidity compared to the Southern Hemisphere.
There'd be no change, I would imagine, in the England or Ireland 10 shirts, because both of them had good enough games. Johnny Sexton, in fairness, after the hard week he had in the papers after Eddie Jones' comments, he fought back with his actions on the pitch. He was sensational. Not the result Ireland would have wanted, but actually, considering 17 injuries, a brave effort.
Yeah, I think you've got a lot of mitigation out the way there for the Irish guys, and congratulations on that. But look, I thought Ireland were particularly good around the midfield area. They played with a lot more ambition. They sort of released that Joe Schmidt shackle, if you like, of the non-offloading game. They played with a lot of width, sometimes a bit too risky, and they put a lot of pressure under England's defence. I disagree with you a little bit about England's 10, and we've seen a certain Manu Tuolangi being included in the England squad this week. There's not enough space for Manu Tuolangi and another 12, but there's enough space for Manu Tuolangi and Owen Farrell to move to 10. So I don't think England's backline is the finished article at the minute, and that is a good thing because they've now got options. And Eddie Jones will undoubtedly make changes, maybe not in this game, but as we go.
How did this England team look to you, Fabio? Do they look like a team that are progressing rapidly, getting better and better?
Yeah, they're doing better and better, sure, 100%. I agree with Austin about the option they got on the back line now. Say about Tuilagi, we don't find the space in this back line, but I think it's the best thing for England. I have all these options, all these great players, and I would like to be a coach and have this choice.
Well, you would be, but unless you're Richard Cockle, because I don't think he actually wants him to play just yet. He's only just back. Can he last? Undoubtedly, he could go and play for England at the weekend, 2 weekends' time. But it's not just about that. When you turn up for England, and Ugo will tell you this as well, and same for Italy, I presume, the training is so much harder in the week, and there's not like you can miss Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, rock up to the team run and play Saturday. Doesn't happen. You have to start training early on in the week, and maybe Tuolangi's body isn't ready for that just yet.
Look, all the talk out there is that it's going to be Harlequins Conor O'Shea. We know he's leaving and he's hotly tipped to be the new man of the job. That's what he's going to have to work with. Is he going to have to change from the top down? The club structure, is everything going to change? What is the job in hand?
I don't know if he will have the white card and change everything, but if I'm the president of the federation and I take a guy like him, I will give the key of the federation and say, okay, you are you have the driver and drive this federation. That is my idea. Because
would he be the right kind of guy, do you think, Conor?
I know him, not just technical. I never talk about rugby with him. I know like a person. I like a person. He's a great person. But he did well with the Harlequins. I think he's a clever guy. He's a good coach, and he can do very well there.
Boys, a bit hot in the Premiership, eh? Wasn't it, over the course of the weekend? And the league is so incredibly tight, Ugo. You couldn't imagine it, really, when you look from 3rd all the way down to 8th. It's unbelievable.
Quality within the Premiership is unbelievable. Actually, some of it is terrible defence, but great attacking intent. A boatload of tries this weekend, but we're in a situation now where you win a game and you're in the top 4, you lose a game and you could finish 8th. I haven't known a Premiership as tight as that.
How about Saints? Where do you feel they are at the moment? They seem to be beginning to enjoy themselves a bit more, you think?
Yeah, they're starting to find their feet, aren't they? They had a really difficult start to this period of 10 games back-to-back. But they've had some good fixtures. You know, Worcester at home, you'd expect them to win. They've had a good win against Harlequins, which they probably didn't expect. Maybe that was the defining moment of their season. You get a win like that where really you've lost the match and something happens from nothing. It can turn your season around. And they're playing with decent width, and they're getting a lot more direct now from their forwards around the fringes. So they're definitely going to be a threat. They're going to be there or thereabouts. But this next 5-week period will define the season. It will relegate someone, and it will also form the top 4. And it's still very tight up there, but you do fear for London Irish. London Irish now, they've got 2 difficult games to come. If they lose those 2 and Newcastle go on to win, thanks to Andy Good in a large part, you know, maybe with all the injuries at Harlequins, when his contract ends at Newcastle, we might find him down at Quins. They've lost Swale, they've lost Nick Evans. Stranger things have happened, but, you know, he's made a massive impact in Newcastle, and he's just created that gap away from Irish. 2 more losses for Irish. They could be relegated by April. Irish
have signed a new 10, of course, Ugo. I think you mentioned it earlier with immediate effect, because that is a problem area for them. And young halfbacks in a relegation battle. Also, with a director of rugby who's not used to relegation, Tom Coventry from the Southern Hemisphere, where they don't have relegation. Not having that experience, I think, is beginning to show a little bit.
We had Ben Franks in the studio last week, and he didn't know relegation existed until he turned up and there was a few games lost. It's like, what, we could actually not be in this league by the end of May. So it is a brand new thing for these guys, especially, I think, in terms of harnessing and nurturing these youngsters. These guys who are now wanting to play their natural way aren't able to do that anymore, because it's just a case of just doing whatever it takes to be able to win matches, and that's something where they're really struggling at the moment.
Let's talk about Wasps. We're going to start by looking at their season averages so far. They're absolutely outrageous. Everything seems to be going right for them, lads.
Well, they're top of virtually all the stats. I think they covered something like 350 metres within 35 minutes at the weekend. And when you see that sort of stat, particularly when you see the stats, the number of missed tackles that Harlequins made, it only ends up in 1 result. But some of the lines and the way that they're playing, and they've got great attack all over the field. They can take you tight round the fringes with Nathan Hughes and Cooper Woolley. Then they go into the midfield with the Pietau brothers, who are absolutely brilliant. And that's before you've even started talking about some of the guys out wide. Halai, actually, is just an absolute beast, a tank for them on the wide, and he gives them always an offload. So you can lay some blame with Harlequins and their intensity in the defence, but overall, Wasps are sensational to watch. And I said in commentary that if you live in the Coventry area, it's a big old stadium and it's getting busier and busier. I can think of many worse things to do than go there on a Sunday afternoon with your family and watch that, because it is really entertaining rugby.
Diego, before I let you go, just your thoughts on the possibility of Conor O'Shea. It's looking quite likely, the Harlequins coach. He's much respected, much loved over here. He may be on his way to Italy. Is he the right man? What can he change? What does he have to do?
But I cannot give you an opinion, because we don't know if he coming, if he don't coming. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I think he will not come. I think he will not come.
You really think he won't come? Do you want to put money on this right now? I could put maybe 10 grand. You really don't think he'll come?
I think what I read in the friends that I spoke about, I am not sure. I don't understand why he didn't. If he's coming, why he didn't do it officially in 3 months? He has to take the job. So I don't understand the situation about. I think Conor O'Shea, I think he's not going to come. at the end. I think maybe I make a mistake, but if not, he has to say it.
Diego, just take a little tip from me. If anyone wants to put a bet on him not coming, you don't put any money down, OK? You might be in for a little surprise.
That's all for this week. Thanks for watching Rugby Tonight, the best bits. And don't forget to hit subscribe. There's also still time to apply for free tickets for all of our upcoming shows by emailing audience@rugbytonight.com. Cheerio.